My name is Wendy Serrato. The purpose of my speech will be to persuade my audience to reinforce their attitudes and beliefs that getting rid of steroids among Major League Baseball will help the influence among the lower leagues of baseball. According to Seth Livingston, in a 2002 study by the Texas A&M University, estimated that up to 42,000 Texas students were abusing steroids. Is it the pressure of winning the game, or is it that they just want to be as good as their favorite professional ball players, or simply role models? The Major League Baseball has turned into a disturbing epic of steroids. Great players who obtained broken records were caught in this scandal, such as Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco, or Barry Bonds. So what kind of influences are these great baseball players giving to their lower league players in accomplishing their dreams? Today I will discuss the necessity of getting rid of steroids in the Major League Baseball. As college students, we need to be aware that a closure to steroids at the professional level will help reduce influences at the lower league of baseball. There is a necessity of getting rid of steroids because it harms the body that could lead to death. Major League Baseball players, as well as other young league players, are becoming victims of steroids. According to Richie Witt, in his 2007 Dallas Observer, a 17-year-old named Taylor took steroids to become a bigger player for Plano West High School in 2003 and ended up committing suicide. According to the 2004 Junior Scholastics article, doctors warn that steroids users face an increased risk of livers, tumors, cancers, and heart problems as they grow older. It is stated that steroids harm teen growth prematurely through premature skeletal maturation, and for men it can increase the risk of prostate cancer. Steroids are extremely dangerous. There is something that needs to be done, and should be consequences for those who abuse these substances. According to T.J. Quinn in his article of Men's Fitness magazine, a survey was conducted and questions were asked about the usage of steroids. Should Major League Baseball players be denied admittance of the Hall of Fame if they test positive for steroids use? The results were that 71% choose yes and 29% choose no. Another question asked was, should high school and Roe students have mandatory testings for the possible use of performance enhancing drugs? The results for that were 82% said yes and 18% said no. Some of these kinds of consequences are taken place and look at for those who abuse the sport. It is mentioned in the White House submit that between 5 to 7% of baseball players are tested randomly, and those who are tested positive are facing suspensions and fines. If steroids are not given a closure in the Major League Baseball, then lower leagues will probably not take this seriously. Therefore, one start is getting rid of the steroids. It's testing which should be performed consistently. If professional baseball players are tested consistently, then so will a lower leagues of baseball. According to Richie Witt in his 2007 Dallas Observer, Texas is expected to implement the nation's largest and most comprehensive steroids testing for the high school athletes. It is time to take this issue seriously. Otherwise, the usage of steroids among lower leagues will continue to increase. According to George Mitchell in his Baseball Mitchell report, players noted that it is important to devote attention to the Major League Baseball performance enhancing substance because thousands of high school young age students will illegally use steroids. Steroids can stop through influence from Major League Baseball players, coaches, teammates, and organizations, and even us. After admitting the usage of steroids, Alex Rodriguez came up to the plate and reached out to the audience and talked about the usage of steroids in anti-drug event. There are many great organizations such as Athletes Against Steroids who ensure on helping children to make the right choice and to keep focus. Even though Major League Baseball fell into the epic of steroids, that does not mean all of the players were involved. Those that remain sober from it still have the great impact and pass on their influence of being good role models. A life is not important except in the impact it has in other beliefs.